1-2, bouncing ball, through for a base hit. Rounding third is Langoliers. He will score. Nick Kurtz, welcome to Major League Baseball.
From MLB.com, this is the Morning Lineup Podcast. I'm your host, Mandy Bell. Today is Thursday, April 24th, and Pete Alonso is here to remind you all that polar bears have some serious speed. Did you know that they could run up to 25 miles per hour? Well, Alonso may be closer to 25 feet per second, but his speed helped the Mets walk off the Phillies to complete the three-game sweep. We'll dive into the details of the thrilling finale, we'll recap Pete Crow Armstrong's 4 RBI night, and we'll look at a debut of a player who was drafted just 9 months ago. Of course, we'll get it all done in under 10 minutes. Let's get to it. There's no team hotter than the Mets right now, and when Brett Baty stepped to the plate in the second inning, it seemed like this team was going to cruise to yet another victory.
And Baty crashes one deep right field. Forget that! Way back and out of here!
But after the Phillies strung together a handful of hits in the fourth to knot the game at 2, neither offense could push another run across. The Mets' winning streak was on the line, and in the top of the 8th, the Phillies looked like they were set to finally pull ahead. That was until Juan Soto had something to say about it.
Swing on a liner towards second, past the diving Acuna, base hit right field, Soto up with it, here comes Castellanos to the plate, the throw, the slide, he is out at the plate!
The stadium erupted, every Mets player on the field was screaming, as if this scorching hot team needed any other form of momentum behind them. It got a boost with this. In the 10th, the Phillies plated a run to take the lead, but Pete Alonso tied it up with a double in the bottom half of the frame. After an intentional walk and a strikeout, there were 2 outs with the winning run at second base, all for Starling Marte. And well...
And Marte dumps one into center field, base hit! Here comes Alonso! Stevenson's thrown to the plate, too late and the Mets have won it! 7 straight for New York!
Alonso channeled his inner polar bear speed to race home in time to beat the throw from the soft single to shallow center. The rest of the team chased after Marte, who allowed the Mets to win their 7th consecutive game with a 4-3 victory over the Phillies. Their 18-7 record is the best in the majors, and for the first time in franchise history, they have started the season 12-1 at home. So, for the other 29 teams out there, beware of Citi Field. Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, Teoscar Hernandez, and Freddie Freeman were all on the field, and yet it was Pete Crow Armstrong's world, and they were all just living in it. Okay, I'll backtrack a little. Teoscar Hernandez was certainly sharing that world for most of Wednesday night. He was the one who started the back and forth scoring frenzy with a 2-run single in the 3rd before adding this in the 5th.
Teoscar Hernandez sends a high fly ball to deep left field. Haps back at the wall. There it goes! Teoscar Hernandez!
But for every big moment Hernandez enjoyed, Crow Armstrong was there to put the Cubs back on top. It started with this 3-run shot in the 4th.
He hits it out the left center field. Pages back at the warning track. It's into the basket and gone!
It continued with a much-needed insurance run in the 5th, and it ended with his 10th steal of the season in the 8th, before the Cubs closed out their 7-6 win over the Dodgers. Crow Armstrong went 3 for 4 with a homer and 4 RBIs on the heels of another 3-hit performance. And over the last 2 weeks, Crow Armstrong has been Chicago's spark plug. 3 players in the majors have at least 5 homers, with at least 10 steals this season. Ellie De La Cruz, O'Neal Cruz, and Pete Crow Armstrong. He was the difference maker that resulted in the Dodgers' 2nd straight loss, but that L wasn't even the worst part of the day for Los Angeles. Starter Blake Snell was supposed to throw his next bullpen session before Wednesday's game. Snell has been on the IL with left shoulder inflammation and was seemingly on the right track to returning to the rubber, but Snell's bullpen session was pushed back and the team decided to slow down his rehab process. So now the Dodgers will have to wait even longer to get one of their star starters back. Everyone dreams of their MLB debut. They all dream of stepping up in a big moment, knocking in a run, proving that they belong the second that they get there. In a fantasy world, they dream of being able to skip the minors and just get to the big leagues already. For most, all of that is unattainable. But for one prospect, it became a reality last night. More after the break. I mean, does it get any better than this?
Kurtz hits a ground ball up the middle, and diving Semien can't make the play. It's going to score a run. Not a bad debut for Nick Kurtz.
In his first major league at-bat, Nick Kurtz hit a ground ball past a diving second baseman to plate a runner from second base in the A's 5-2 win over the Rangers. But don't get confused when you hear ground ball. The ball was smoked off of Kurtz's bat at 112.2 miles per hour. Kurtz rounded first with a smile on his face. The cameras caught his dad in the stands, aggressively waving the runner home. This is what MLB debuts are all about. Debuts are common every year, but Kurtz's story is a bit different from most. Usually, a player takes at least a year, and usually a few more, to make it to the majors after being drafted. Instead, the A's top prospect and the number 35 prospect overall, according to MLB Pipeline, was drafted just 9 months ago. In the few weeks of the 2025 season at AAA, he led all of the minors with 7 homers. So, just 283 days after he was drafted, he's now in the big leagues. That's the 6th fastest journey to the majors in A's history. It's really hard to believe at this time last year, he was taking classes as a junior at Wake Forest. Elsewhere around baseball, O'Neal Cruz hit a ball that may not have landed yet.
Oh, that is hammered to center field. Clear the deck. Look at this Cruz missile.
463 feet. That's essentially an eighth of a mile, and yet it's still only the second longest of Cruz's career. But it was enough to help the Pirates beat the Angels 3-0. As long as we're talking mammoth homers, Nationals outfielder James Wood not only hit a 431-foot leadoff homer in the 4-3 win over the Orioles, but it exploded off the bat at a whopping 116.3 miles per hour, which is tied for the Nationals' hardest hit homer in the StatCast era. The Yankees took the series finale against the Guardians 5-1 thanks to another multi-hit day by Aaron Judge. Through 25 games last year, Judge was hitting 191. This season, he's at a comfortable 415. Eli White grew up a Braves fan and dreamed of hitting a crucial go-ahead homer in the big leagues as a kid. So when he did it in the 8th inning on Wednesday to lift the Braves to a 4-1 win over the Cardinals, he said he'd probably struggle to fall asleep that night.
Eli White, deep to left, forget about it.
Byron Buxton hit a 2-run homer in the Twins' 6-3 win over the White Sox, but the bigger storyline was rookie Luke Keeschel, who has 5 stolen bases through his first 5 Major League games. That's tied for the most stolen bases in that span since at least 1901. Despite a 2-homer game from Corbin Carroll, the Diamondbacks fell to the Rays 7-6 on doubles by Cameron Misner and Yandy Diaz in the 11th inning. For the rest of the scores from around the league, check out MLB.com. Coming up today, catch MLB.tv's free game of the day at 2:10 p.m. Eastern Time, the first game of a doubleheader between the Rockies and the Royals. Or you can tune in to MLB Network at 6:45 p.m. Eastern Time for the series finale of the Beltway series between the Orioles and the Nationals. Maybe James Wood will break the exit velo guns this time. That's all for today's morning lineup. Will Leach will get you caught up to speed on all things baseball tomorrow. As always, please be sure to give us a rating and a review and share this episode with the baseball lovers in your life. Thanks for listening and have a great day.